Hey, I'm out here in the gold country, and I had promised you guys to do some more videos on the Axiom, which is I've been using it, just haven't been filming a lot with it, but it's a great detector, and I really enjoyed it. And today, what I'm going to do is I've been testing it for its discrimination capability, and I'm actually kind of impressed. The pulse induction machines generally don't have really great discrimination systems. And today we're going to be talking about the discrimination on the Garrett Axiom. Now, hey, I'm Chris Ralph, the professional prospector, and that's what we're going to be looking at today. We're going to talk about discrimination. We're talking about discrimination with pulse induction machines and specifically the Garrett Axiom. Now, one of the things I need to say about discrimination on a pulse machine is you can't use a monocoil and get real discrimination. It requires both like a double D or some other coil where you've got more than one coil. Usually it means you're using a double D. That's what, and the double D coil, it has two coils, and one is a D facing forward and the other is a D facing backwards, and the straight part of the D's overlap. Now, discrimination honestly is better on a VLF machine, just generally speaking, than it is on a pulse induction machine. And so when Garrett said that they were going to have discrimination on their Axiom, I was kind of excited about that because a number of pulse induction machines designed to hunt gold nuggets don't even have a discrimination function at all. And, it makes areas that are kind of trashy tough to use a pulse induction machine. And you end up settling for a VLF, which doesn't punch down as deep and doesn't resist the mineralization in the ground as well. And so I've been trying out the Garrett, and actually I'm pretty impressed with the discrimination that it has. Now, no discrimination on any machine, VLF or pulse induction, is perfect. There's definitely a situation where it indicates something and it could be wrong. But what I like about the Garrett discrimination is it's a positive signal. In other words, there's a lot of machines that do have discrimination, and what you have is if you swing over a iron trash target, an iron target, it will just make no sound at all. You swing over a non-ferrous target, whether it be gold or aluminum, lead, brass, copper, whatever not iron metal, you swing over that and you get a signal. The problem is discrimination is not, it requires a fairly strong signal. And there are situations where if you swing one of those detectors that have a no signal or a silent indication for ferrous targets, is you can swing over a target that you heard when discrimination was off. You put on discrimination and then you hear nothing because the discrimination setting, it's not as sensitive. It requires a strong signal. And I've done that. I've been out with this was with a VLF, but it's exactly what happened. I swung over, I got a target. I thought, oh, this is a good looking spot. I'm going to use my discriminator. I discriminated and I got silence, which would normally indicate that the target was iron trash. But it was a good location, and it was like it appeared to be a crevice. So I started digging down, and then I used my discrimination again on it, and surprise, surprise, now that it was closer to the target and it got a stronger signal, it went from being silent to indicating that it was a non-ferrous target. And indeed, it turned out to be about a tenth of an ounce gold nugget. So, hey, I was plenty happy with that, and sure glad that I didn't believe the discrimination when it indicated, silence. What happened was the target wasn't strong enough that when you put on discrimination and you don't get as strong a signal and you don't get as sensitive a detector with the discrimination on, it didn't see it. And so seeing nothing is the same as silence. I like discriminations that give you an indication either way. That you basically will get either a non-ferrous signal, or you'll get another signal that indicates ferrous, two different signals. That way you can see what the machine is seeing. Or, if the machine actually shows nothing or just bounces around, then you know that the machine isn't sure what you're seeing. And indeed, anytime you use discrimination, you have to accept that there's a machine uncertain indication. And that's when, it doesn't just go, non-ferrous, 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 or it doesn't go ferrous, 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 iron, 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 but it bounces around. It says non-ferrous, ferrous, non-ferrous, ferrous, bounce, 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 and it goes back and forth. That's the machine telling you, I don't know. And you got to accept that sometimes the machine doesn't know. And you need to have that knowledge and understand that there is such a thing as I don't know in order to use discrimination and understand how it works. See, if you understand it and use it properly, it's a great tool. If you don't understand it, you don't know what you're doing, and it can be really dangerous. You can walk away from nice nuggets. Like that 10th-ounce nugget I told you, because I dug it because it was in a great spot and I found gold around it. And so, even though the metal detector said this is, iron trash, I thought, I think the detector's wrong. And it turns out it was. So the way that the discrimination works on this, and I also like the feature, is that you can run in non-discrimination mode, and you can run that way normally. And then there's just a button to press for discrimination. So you press a button while you're running, and and you swing over the target, and you'll get the indication whether it be ferrous. And you don't have to switch modes or do anything complex. Some detectors, you end up, you press, go through a menu, blah, 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 blah. Okay, there's discrimination, select, and the detector has to rebalance and reinitialize itself. This is, real quick and easy. Just press the button, swing over the target, you get the indication. And so far, I've been testing it out, and I'm going to take you along and show you some. I've been testing it out by, I get a target, I look at what the indication is, and then I dig it to see if the machine's right. And it's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. No discrimination is perfect. There's not such a thing as perfect discrimination. But it's a tool, and if you know what you're doing and you use it properly, it can be a very useful tool and help you dig a little less trash. But I'm still in the mode with my Axiom that I'm testing. I'm going over targets, seeing what the machine says, and then digging in the target anyway, whether it says iron trash or not iron, whether no matter what it indicates, I'm digging it, and I'm gonna just see how it goes. Now I'm using today the 11-inch double D coil, and that's what I'll be using for this testing. Because remember, I said if you got a pulse machine, which the Axiom is, and you're going to use discrimination, you need to use a double D coil. You need to not be doing a monocoil. So it just doesn't work right with the mono. So that's enough introduction. Let me put on my harness that has the camera, and you can come along with me, and we'll dig some targets. Hopefully we'll find some gold. But if not, we'll find some iron, and we'll dig it, and we'll test what the machine does and see what it indicates. And once I get enough confidence in it, if it really does indicate iron, I'm going to be pretty confident in being able to say, yeah, I don't need to dig that target. So let's take a look and go into the field and give it a try. Okay, so I've got a target here. I just did a quick little boot scrape because it was such a shallow sounding target, and just here's the target. It really sounds pretty squirrely. even from just the sound of this, I would guess that it was trash. And so we're going to run the discriminator over it. So it's only indicating iron trash. It sounds really squirrely. So let's dig the target and see what we get. Okay, here's the target. All right. And there's the target. Little bit of rust. The detector indicated ferrous with it's kind of a grunt sound. Grunt, grunt. And it indeed was correct. We'll put that in the trash pouch and move on to the next target. So I've got another target here, and super loud, plenty enough to get a discrimination reading on. Let's see what it says. Okay. So it's bouncing around. It's getting some good readings, where it's indicating high, and it's getting some other grunts in there. So let's dig it out and see what this target actually is. Okay, maybe in this scoop. Okay. Okay. Well, you can see why the detector was partly thinking that it was iron and partly thinking that it was not iron. It was given some decent bouncing back and forth readings. The target was a melted chunk of lead. So this was a non-ferrous target, and we got a kind of an indiscriminate. It didn't definitely indicate it that it was iron, even though it was a strong signal. So it was mostly right in guessing that I should have dug this because it is lead. Okay, so I've got another target here. Sounds kind of weird. It's kind of funky. Let's see what the discriminator says. Well, the only indications I can get are that it's iron. It just gives grunt, grunt. Sometimes it doesn't give a signal because the target isn't strong enough, but other times when it does give a signal, it says iron, iron, iron. So let's see if this really is iron. Okay, I've dug it out. So it's a stronger signal, and I've dug down a little bit,
And let's try with the discriminator. It's just giving nothing but a grunt signal, indicating that it's iron. So let's dig it out of the hole and see what it is. And there's what the target was, a rusty piece of iron, which the machine successfully indicated that it was iron. Okay, on to the next. Okay, so here's another target. Pretty loud. Let's see what we get with the discrimination. So as we're passing over the target, it's indicating iron. Let's see what we get when we dig it. There is a lot of iron trash here, so I'm not surprised we're getting a lot of iron. Well, this one I didn't even have to sort it out with the spoon. Just as I was digging, I saw a big piece of rusty iron trash, and yep, that was the target. So the thing was right. It indicated iron, and it was. So here's the target. It sounds really squirrely. From the sound of it, I'd guess iron, but your ear is not really a great discriminator. But here's the target. Usually stuff like that is rusty iron trash. Let's see what the Axiom says it is. So it's pretty sure that it's iron. It's not bouncing it all around. It's just saying iron. Let's dig it and see what we got. Got it in the scoop. In my hand. In the scoop. In my hand. In this. Still in the scoop. That. Yep. And that's a target. It's basically a dozer scrape, a big one. It's a swirled, rusty piece of steel. And so the detector was right. It was iron. So I'm not going to dig any more of these today. I mean, I think this video is enough to demonstrate that used properly and used carefully, the Axiom is a pretty good discriminator. And I will be using it at various times in the future when a detector like this is the best choice among the detectors I own. Anyway, it's a good product with the DD coil. It's a decent discriminator. Certainly as good as any other PI on the market. The one signal we got where it really bounced back and forth and was unsure, it was a piece of lead. So I talked to the engineers and they said that they wanted to design this discrimination system to be conservative in the sense that it wouldn't indicate for you to not dig something that could possibly be non-ferrous. So they wanted to be conservative and even when maybe they could indicate iron, it would take a view that anything that might possibly be not iron should indicate on the machine as not iron. So I think they've succeeded, and I'm real happy with it. And I hope you like this update of the Garrett Axiom. Now, one of the things that I talk about in my videos is that finding gold is a skill, and you need to know what you're doing, and it makes all the difference in the world, the knowledge that you have. And so in order to give you that skill, if you're interested in finding gold, I wrote a book called Fistful of Gold, because that's what I want you to find, Fistful of Gold. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my book right now.
So let me tell you a little bit more about my book. It's called Fistful of Gold, and I wrote it because I want you to be able to go out and find for yourself Fistful of Gold. And you can see that it's an encyclopedia with all kinds of information, pictures, and that sort of thing. It's non-color, but color would have cost me a lot more to have printed, and so the book would have cost a lot more. It's for sale on Amazon, and you can pick it up. I'll put a link in the description below. I also serve as the editor for a prospecting magazine. It's ICMJ's Prospecting and Mining Journal. And honestly, you should check that out. We got stories and information, legal stuff, everything you know to increase your skills as a prospector. I write articles in this every month, and a lot of other very experienced prospectors contribute to the magazine as well. So check the magazine out. Also, I have a website, and the website is at NevadaOutbackGems.com. I'll put a link for it in the description below, but there's gobs of information there that you will find useful in your prospecting efforts. Finally, I want to say that I really appreciate your comments and thoughts, and even positive criticism. Don't come on there and just toss out insults, because I'll just delete your comments. But if you've got helpful things to say and questions to ask, do write and put those in the comments, because I answer my comments to people, and you'll hear from me in responding to you. So if you've enjoyed this video and you like what you see and you're interested in finding out more, well then sign up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so they'll let you know when I post new videos. And like it and share it if again you see stuff that you really are excited about. And I'll be coming out with lots more new videos, and so we'll see you again real soon.